Well, presumably there's going to be some kind of a... something underground I need to find, but... whatever. So anyways, that was all I had to talk about.
Well, how do you, I mean, first of all, how do you find outside of, I know you said you kind of peruse YouTube for the...
Well, reputation, I mean,
but
sometimes...
I mean, how do you find, like, have you ended up watching Casablanca yet? Have you watched
Casablanca's good. I'm not wild about it. Like, some people, it has, at least at some points in history, had the reputation of, like, you know, one of the greatest movies ever, and I'm like, I don't know about that. It's good, though. It's enjoyable and interesting. Obviously, things like that are just reputation-based, where everyone knows the name, even if they haven't seen it. So it's worth checking, at least in my opinion. And then sometimes it's just... fairly often, Locke was similar, where it's like, I just happened to see it on YouTube, a piece of it, and I was like, that seems interesting. Okay, I thought...
Then sometimes it's just a one-off in scene. Like, that's what I noticed with, like, Boardwalk Empire looks really cool, too, until you
Well, that's
watch
true.
the first
Sometimes,
pilot,
yeah,
and
that
you're
does
like,
seem to
this
happen.
is-
I mean, that seems to have been what happened with this
with this movie?
movie. It's like, yeah, there was one shot which was interesting. Oh, he laid me out. He folded me like Sunday laundry. I got a bug on my mic. I'll show you that, because it's like, that's the one part of the film when I was like, that's an interesting shot. The fact that they did that purely using camera trickery is cool. And that's it.
I was watching a video today on how they get camera or get mirror shots without having the camera in the shot.
They do that in several ways. I've seen videos about.
That was a fascinating one, because I was like, oh yeah, how do they do that? And then I was watching.
Well, sometimes they just comp it out, but then when they're clever, they actually don't. They do it such that it doesn't.
The one I was watching was literally like them doing a.
Who was this,
like
by the way?
double.
Because it might have even been the one I've seen.
I don't recall.
See if you can jump using your grapple thingy from here to there.
My grapple thing.
Use it like your line walking thingy. Because this is as close, I think, as you can get. So if you can't do it from here, you can't do it from anywhere. Because most likely... Oh, he found you. Too late. I mean, you could try it still, but...
How do I...
Nope, it's too far. I'd get out of here. Oh, it's not too far! Jump and see what happens! Jump now!
Oh.
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. But you got pretty darn close. So that might actually be... I'm curious to see what would happen, because I don't believe that's the solution. But now I'm curious what the game will do if you try it. Like, what if you do get up there and take the guy out? Just turns out the door's locked. They locked him out. Go and shoot Batman if he shows up. Okay. How long do I got to be out here? Till Batman shows up.
Bring me up a yogurt either
Can I
way.
get a sandwich or like a bottle to pee in? No.
Either way, I want a yogurt. Oh, he just popped me in the ear.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I also like originality. That's one of the biggest things in new art that I look for. Like, I don't like when people are just redoing old things. Not even like the way Disney's doing right now, which is probably the bottom level utmost trashed. But I'm talking about...
Bottom utmost?
I said bottom level utmost trash.
Yeah, but I think those two things are contradictory.
Bottom level of garbage.
How can it be the utmost if it's the bottom level?
It is the utmost, meaning
it is the utmost
cheapest
bottom level
of all trash.
It's the highest bottom.
It's the highest. Nobody lost ahead of you. You were the first loser. You've seen that
of
bit,
course.
right?
I'm just saying, I think it's humorous to be like, this is chief. I mean, it is going to work. This is maximum butt. Oh, I should grab one of these and stick it on his nadgers.
It literally is allowing you to sneak behind him? What's happening here?
Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Unless this door is locked, which would be funny. Okay, no, that is what I was supposed to do. Okay, then. Seemed a little bit... I mean, I was going to say it seemed a bit easy, but then again, we died a bunch, so... Maybe not. Well... Okay...
I'm seeing seismic activity all over Arkham Island. You okay?
Ivy's plants are taking hold. I've got to stop them before the entire island is under her control.
Come on, get on up. Really?
Like, I'm just talking about originality where genuine creative thought has been engaged. Because especially now in the world
We
of
got a deficit of that going on.
AI, you're going, I can tell this was written by a computer.
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting how it develops, because I have seen some people saying it has two sort of potentials.
What does AI?
Yeah, because the argument that I've heard, which I do think has some merit, I'm still not sure how I feel about it though, is the idea that it will effectively break the stranglehold Hollywood has on this kind of stuff, because anyone could do it now. Now, the problem is, if anyone could do it, then it's most likely only going to be as good as anyone could have done.
Sure.
But the right person with a good idea could still use the tools to execute something they couldn't have otherwise. But it would still have to be them. They would still have to be the ones in control of it. They would have to have the good idea and know how to get it. They would just be using it as a tool rather than as like a resource. Well, that seems, I don't know exactly what the difference would be. Because it's not any different really when you think about it to any form of, it's like, it's not that different from CGI when you think, because CGI, when it's used as like spackle, that's just meant,
Right.
cover up the rough edges because we didn't put the planning in ahead of time. That looks crappy. But if you've got a good artistic vision and you know what you're looking for, then you can use it to great effect.
Here's a question.
Oh.
What went wrong with CGI? Because
I
obviously...
think it got too easy.
Well, and we've talked about that before, but I mean, it genuinely got worse. Like in the 90s, it was pretty
Yeah, well, that's
good.
because I think it has to do with the fact, that guy was an idiot. I do think it is genuinely that it just got to be too easy. And so it used to be something that they had to put as much thought into as anything else. Now, have they rigged every single one of these to explode? Booby trap, booby trap. Yep, every single one of them. That's unfortunate. Whew. Is every single one, even that one? Because that actually is going to be hard. Yeah, they did. Ooh, boy. Actually, this is going to be really hard now I'm thinking about it. They did something like this in Arkham City, but they never actually destroyed them fully, that I can remember at least. They made it so that like they had heat vision, and so they could see you when you were on them. But they never, as far as okay, that's not what I intended, but I guess we'll run with it. I mean, really, all I have to do in this case is just keep moving. Yeah. Like, because the thing is, the technology has not advanced so much that you can now do things you couldn't previously do. It's that it has advanced so much that you could do what you could previously do easier. But the problem is, because people are thinking of it as an easy thing, they're treating it like that. They're not putting the level of thought that is required. Oh, you son of a... They're not putting the amount of thought that's required into making it look good. They just sort of slap it on at the end. And I think that's the crux of the issue. I'm not up in the air. Punch him, not the air. Oh, come on. These guys. You are an idiot if this works. Okay.
I was about to say, he is daft as a spoon.
I don't believe spoons are usually considered daft. I did avoid them. Don't tell me I need to avoid the booby traps. I'm no fool. So, yeah.
Batman is best at trapping boobies, you know.
I do, and we've talked about this before, that I think the crux of, there's a lot of things that get worse when they get easier. Arguably, the only thing that happens when something gets easier is that it gets worse. I think that could certainly be an argument that's made. Whether or not it's something you'd completely agree with, I don't know, but... Because, I mean, I suppose that would contradict the argument that we was just making about, like, AI tools making any person with an idea able to create their own movie.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that worked. You got to finish him off. Oh, okay,
Oh,
well.
seriously? Punch him up. Da, da, da. Okay.
I think you earned that.
No.
You
Hardly.
most
I was
certainly
behind
did.
the little pillar.
Well, a truss which is open and visible.
A truss, which is open and visible, but they want a code to where I can't get it with concrete or even reach my hand through to grab a
Well, that's just
trophy.
That's just limitations.
Limitations, no coding. I don't know. There are times I get the whole AI contribution in that it helps prompt when you're stuck sometimes.
See, I actually think that's that feels cheap as well.
I agree.
Because I think if you have the idea and you use the thing to produce it, I mean, there's still some kind of an ethical question. I mean, ethical might be a little bit extreme, but it's like, because you know me and my abhorrence of fake tile or fake countertops. Like the idea of a movie that looks like it contains real people but doesn't, that still...
Knew How to Train Your Dragon is your favorite one.
Oh no, I find that absurd. But I mean, for different reasons.
Which we'll get into.
Well, no, I mean, my issue with that is just because it's yet another remake that doesn't need to exist. You great big wazzy wongle! Well, I'm off to the races. I just let that one happen. This is tough, actually. I didn't consider my reliance on gargoyles until this one. So yeah, I suppose if you like the idea that you could make a film with actors that don't exist is still kind of a creepy idea. But that said, I think some good things could be made that way, I guess is all I'll say. A guy with an idea of a movie he wants, but obviously who doesn't have the capacity to produce it, you know, that could still be, I could see that still working. Now the question is, so yeah, what you're saying about the prompt thing, I actually don't find that's using it in the wrong way, in my opinion. You should use it as an execution tool, not as the ideas. You are the one who has to have the ideas.
So then the execution is what?
Well, the execution, you can let that do the execution. It's not unlike programming in a way where a computer makes terrible decisions, but it does follow instructions. So if you know how to tell a computer to do what you want, then great. You can't, those are going to blow.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking.
I was trying to get off of it. I thought there was one close by, and my thought was to swing from one to the other as they were exploding. So I could just...
Okay, you've been again. You think you're watching too many Batman movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, trying to have a computer create something is almost always a bad idea because computers don't know what anything good is. But if you tell a computer, "Hey, this is what I want," and you know how to make it do that, then okay. As long as you are sufficiently skilled at communicating, then perhaps you can get it to do what you want in a way that's well. Then the real question is, what you wanted worth it? Because again, we're going to come back down to the film we've just been discussing. If it's a film about a schmuck, well, I'm not interested. But if it's a good idea and you execute it using that, I think that could at least be
Okay, so you're in the pitch meeting for this movie. What were they thinking?
But this
Hey,
movie?
here's a guy who's completely unlikable and no one
I
really
will-
wants
why-
to be around.
why would I-
Let's make
why-
a movie about him.
Well, I mean, I'd say everything I've been saying, which is why.
Okay, so I'm saying I'm the executive producer. Okay. Why would you? What's the point of that movie? What do
you
you think
attempting-
the point was supposed to be or intended to be?
Are you trying to? Am I the director in this case?
No, I'm asking you to like extrapolate what you might have thought they were thinking.
Well, the best
would
I
have
can-
been the
Well,
point.
the best I can think is that they were again. It's just like a cautionary tale type thing, where they're just trying to say, "Don't be like this guy."
You can't exhibit that type of
I
behavior.
mean, yeah, kind of. That's how it came across. Okay, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. That was utter trash. It took me too long to get to him. Oh, well, we're gonna cuddle in death. Well, that was just dumb. The only other thing I can think is the defense of it would be what all these critics think, which is like, oh, but it's such a, it really conveys the bleakness of the human experience.
But
I'm
I
just like,
can't help
well,
but think
okay,
that
I don't want
that's-
that conveyed to me. Like, that's where it ultimately comes down to.
Well, I've said this
I
before
don't understand.
about watching films when I go, I wouldn't. Again, I made this. You're making all of the
You're
arguments.
gonna
that I
need
made
this
for
thing.
Law.
How about you put that in front of your face instead of talking to the side of it?
I am talking to it.
No, you're talking
I
to
made
the
the
side
same
of it.
comment when I was watching Locke, which is that it's like, why would I want to just watch some random guy's life?
Well, because he's an interesting guy. My point is
He's
not that this
not,
guy
though.
was an average guy. My point was the guy he was an a-hole, and was nothing but an a-hole.
But
There was nothing
most
redeeming
guys
about him.
that are average are a-holes.
No, that's not true at all. There's average.
There's average a-holes and then there's above average a-holes.
Well, no, there are people who are flawed, but at least they have some redeeming qualities that make them a interesting person, even if they're flawed. But if they're purely just an abrasive person who's awful to everyone equally, that's like, well, what's the point of what? They don't have anything about them that's interesting. Like, I don't know why you didn't find Locke interesting. I did, because he wasn't a purely bad guy. It's like, if anything, it's how a guy who's trying to be good deals with a mistake he made. And in some ways, I find that interesting because the way he sort of faces his mistake head on makes him
Oh,
he had all of the goon squad there for you. Oh, okay, every single one of them. They were planning that for you.
I was trying to.
That one guy was one guy was bait, and he didn't know it. So yeah, I found it interesting for that reason. Is that the way he faces his mistake? In some ways, almost it doesn't exactly atone for it, but it's like there's a good message in that, which is even if you've made a mistake, facing up to it like this is the right way to go. Like, this guy is acting admirably, because the thing is, I don't want to spoil it because I think people should watch it, but the mistake happens before the film begins. We never see it happen.
Yeah.
So from our perspective of what we see, the guy, I think, acts entirely correctly, because we don't see him make the mistake, so all we're seeing is the way he deals with it, and I think the way he deals with it is correct. And so in some ways, that juxtaposition is like, well, yeah, probably sometime in your life you're going to make a dumb mistake, and you would be wise to handle it the way this guy handles it, which is head on. Well, this is new. This didn't happen last time. I guess I'm committed. Job. Well, that was unique. I don't know what the difference was there. Yeah, I did too. Well, that was lame. They pulled a different algorithm on me that time. So my problem is not with the average guy. It's like that. I don't know why you get hung up on that.
Well, it's not even the average. It's more. I watch things to come away with something beyond what I would normally come away with in life. Now, my favorite kinds of films are ones that are inspirational and that I go, now I feel like I should be able to do that too. If, like, for instance, Iron Will, you go, there's a guy who's like put in the dedication, even though he was the underdog, and he came out on top simply because he was willing to, again, work harder, sleep less. It's like, okay, that's great. That's a good message.
Yeah, but I would challenge that it's not like a revolutionary message. It's the message of all. The only thing that makes the film interesting is the fact that he actually did it. Everyone knows that's true. Most people just don't do it.
Yeah, but
get him before the other guy comes out. Like, it's not like the film presented a whole new way of looking at life. It was the same way we all knew. That. It was just this guy embodied it better than anyone else.
Maybe we should lock up the bat freak here. Serve him right.
Don't. Okay, yeah. Because he's going to go and look for that other guy. I think it's kind of dumb that they know immediately where the guy we just took out was. Now, you might want to be using your bat vision to see who's coming around the corner. Who's coming around the mountain when she comes? Well, someone found him. You just want to do this the hard way, it seems like?
Woo. Do this the smart way.
That's not the smart way, because if you had the X-ray vision on, you'd have known there was two guys coming.
I knew there was two guys coming. I could see them through. I just had to.
You just decided to go in and hope that the second guy would be mystified by the brass balls you have.
Well, they're pretty big balls. You got some pretty big balls walking up here.
That was only 5. What happened to the last one? He died of fright.
He died of fright.
Oh,
so scared that he swallowed his own balls.
I don't know how scared you have to be.
I typically watch movies to be either inspired and come away with something like, that's like on a human level. Look at the things that we're capable of when we actually. That's on a communal level. You look at something like what's a good example of that one? What was the one? The plane, the guy who landed the plane, not
Sully.
Captain Phillips. Sully, yeah, that's a great one. Because it's like, okay, not only did he do what he needed to do, but then he also defended his position in a very admirable way. And you have those kinds of films. And then you have the not feel good films that are like, you come away going, wow, the sheer capacity for death and violence that we as humans are capable of is atrocious. You know, something like, again, Schindler's List, where it's like that.
Well, but even that has a positive point in it.
It does, 100%. But I'm just saying, so there's a...
Okay, so that guy's going to come up.
I hate this view.
Well, I don't like it either. I have heard many people say that this is one of the criticisms of the game, is that you kind of have to use this a lot, but it's not very... It takes away some of the visual interest. I take your point, but what is it?
So I'm just saying it's not that it always has to be happy, but it does again I have to come away with something that I.
So there is no great takedown. I'd like to point that out.
No.
Greats are purely a means of traversal. I find
this game, given that it was the first one. I don't know why you're confused about this.
Because it's not that.
And then they released a second game and they went, you know what would be cool? Let's use that same grade system and let's add some stuff to it.
Well, but I can't help but feel like this is sort of one of those things that seems so obvious, I would have expected them to make the connection immediately. To be like, hey, you know what else could be great when you're using these grades? What if Batman were to jump out? I'm like, the fact that it took him a whole second game to get to that, I'm like, well, that was slow. But whatever, I guess I'll give him some space. So you don't find my interpretation of Locke at all sways you? You don't think that it's inspiring that this guy faces up to his mistakes and, takes the consequences like a man? Because that's what was interesting about it to me. I was like, because Iron Will, you could argue it's like, that's almost too, he's almost got too much willpower. It's like, yeah, he just...
to see that success.
Well, because arguably there can't be perfect success. Like, he's not just simply facing his problems doesn't make them go away.
Oh, they don't make them go away, but they certainly mitigate the fallout.
Not exactly. Not with the mistake he made. I again don't want to spoil it. But it's like the point is the mistake he made was one that you don't come back from easily. But that doesn't change the fact that facing it head on is still the right way to handle it. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Not so good. Not very good at all. That's not what I want. Okay, I hate these. I don't like the contextual stuff. Jump over the men. Disappear into the fog. Okay. That seems to have worked. Well, the problem is I don't know what kind of attacks and moves I have at my disposal then, because like I can't use grates the way I would expect to, and the gargoyles have been taken away. So what's left? Are you alone? You are now. I just had to punch him in the kidneys first, make sure that he remembers this when I'm gone. Can you not kill someone by doing that? Isn't that not a martial arts thing? That's also the punching in the nose. Is that another way to kill someone instantly?
That's actually a wives' tale, because
I don't know that wives are discussing people getting punched in the nose.
Well, okay, whatever you want to call it, it's a
urban
myth, yeah. Because
okay, get back here.
Bones in your nose.
Because you don't have bones in your nose.
Yeah, exactly. It's soft enough tissue and cartilage that it would not do that. No.
But
I mean, it
punching in the kidneys.
That one for sure drops you. Yes.
Well, but can it kill you?
I could see where it would.
I mean, not
kill
instantly
you,
probably,
yeah.
but like it could mess you up enough.
Like if you were able to like rupture or like actually, what is it called?
Hurts just thinking about.
Not just rupture.
Oh, he's got backup.
To lacerate somehow the kidney inside, that would be that's death.
Okay, Dad, gummit. They're smart and they're wising up. He's got cover. Okay, hang on. Maybe not. Are they going to follow each other or are they going to split? No, they're going to follow one another. But I might just have enough of a window. All right. Down to two.
Oh, and get that guy.
Watch my eyes. Don't look away. See, the problem is he's...
Go around.
I don't think there's
way.
there's no entrance over there.
Oh, that's lame.
I mean, I could just... Wow, he was trigger happy. Dad freaking gummit. I thought surely if I was quick... That doesn't make much sense. He had the reactions of a cheetah. Like I was thinking if I pop out and I smack him with a batarang quick enough, I could stun him enough to close the gap and then punch him. But he was freaking hopped up.
I think what we're saying though is the bottom line is it's got to be contributory to your life. You have
But
to
see,
come
I
away
guess
with
what does that mean? Like, because that assumes that what contributes? Because I guess whatever these critics are thought that this film contributed something. If maybe they're so bleak and uninteresting people that the message "Don't be like this guy" was something they needed.
Maybe.
I guess they went, wow, I guess I never thought about it that way. Maybe if I am an abrasive a-hole, my family will leave me. That's just a radical proposition. Maybe I won't murder a prostitute. Well, I got close, so see if you can get closer.
I got close. Almost got freaking everything.
What? What is this? What was that? That was an odd freeze frame. There's a guy.
Batman don't dare come back here. Intensive treatment belongs to Joker.
You may want to go west and check out the walkway. While you're there, keep going.
Oh, I guess so he's telling them where they are. Oh, gotta give him Oh! Well, he's missing right off the bat. Quite literally. Okay, well, that was just bad luck that time. Just menace him. That'll work. He shot you in the junk. He shot you in your bat nads. Bat nads.
Someone finish him off.
How about you come and finish me off, Joker?
Do it yourself.
I'm close. Ivy already had me there. She had me at hello.
Okay, come on now. I am literally dripping sweat. Okay. Well, that was my topic. Because, yeah, I feel like most people, ooh, that was really close, would it, because I'm not saying, I think we've made this reasonably clear, but we're not saying that, like, a film can't be challenging.
Have you checked the timesheets?
It's mostly just, yeah, it has to have, it has to, oh, I jumped, okay. Well, I'm actually honestly surprised that worked, but I'm going to run into the same problem you had. Wow, that was a lot. That was so freaking stupid. So, that was just the game trying to shove me one. Because it's like, okay, I got shot a little bit, and then I'm just finishing the takedown animation, and then that guy literally drained 75% of my health. I mean, again, realism, I suppose. Bullets, not good for you and all that, but still, a little bit of more grace and consideration. Okay, so you just come back here. Are you going to be Quick Shot McGraw? Well, okay, actually, here's what I should have done last time, now that I'm thinking about it. Well, okay, those things are fast. Oh, okay, well, I mean, that works. Dad! I could use the remote control one to curve around the thing and hit him. And apparently, even if you distract him with a noise, he's so hopped up that he'll immediately turn around and shoot you before you can blink.
He blinked.
Golly, I am making gravy over here.
I don't want to hear about your swimming.
Well, I'm swimming. I'm juicing.
Oh.
Well, this is tough. So, I guess what do we got to fill the next 15-ish minutes? Got a minor topic? How many mines have you been in? I'd like to be in a mine once. Seems interesting field of work. I think you're gonna want to use.
Your crew. Did you even notice?
You heard Joker?
Have you got a thought about where you're going?
Yeah. Just gonna try to completely circumvent anything, any logic whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I suppose that might work. Woo! I still think.
They just keep making circles is what I'm gonna do.
Well, yeah, but preferably circles that don't overlap with guard routes. I mean, I guess yeah, not
It's like
not stopping is probably the best way to go about it.
I'm saying you just hold on. What the heck? People are being killed willy nilly.
See, like this though. Careful. Okay, so like there's all three of them. What are you going to do now?
I'm gonna come behind the one over here.
Well,
You heard Joker?
be quick about it. Ah! Silent takedown. Shiv him in the kidney. Bottles of soda. Same thing. Shiv him in the kidney. I don't know why you're not using the X-ray vision here. We know there's guys right next to you. I guess if you're doing the challenge run, this is the pre-technology Batman. How many are we down to? See, that's the other thing, is that X-ray would at least tell us how many are left. 4. That's a lot, actually. That's more than I thought. 4? That's one way to ruin your life. Okay, so here's what you could do, and you'll have to be cautious about it. But if you use the remote control batarang, you could go around that corner and stun the guy before... Oh, okay, hang on. They're coming up. Okay, don't do that now. That guy apparently just goes back to that position. That's his safe place.
Oh, come on.
Batman is mystified by ladders.
Get up the ladder, you imbecile.
Oh, they're employing your tactic. They're going in circles. So that guy's on his own again. Alone again. So yeah, I would try it that way.
So
Oh, he's guarding that because there's a thing in there that's important. So if you use the remote control batarang, which is one of those, that one with on the corner, bottom corner. Well, okay, hang on. The other guys are coming back, so. You might have to save him for last, I guess. That same strategy might still work, though. Well, I guess keep your ambulatory ways. Circumambulation.
Can I come up from behind him somehow?
Him there? No. He's standing in front of a wall.
I told you to stop the bat.
Oh,
So those two guys are staying together. That one guy's on his own.
what can I do with this? Oh, no.
Nothing. You can get electrocuted, though. That guy's on his own. Go get him.
Where?
Go with that guy.
This building is ours. Joker said so.
Oh, he's coming down to you. I'd get him now before he turns around. Okay. Ooh, that was close.
We're doing this Assassin's Creed
Okay, you got 2 more, but they're sticking together is the problem.
You may want to do a quick head count.
You heard the boss? How's people dying out here?
Batman really just can't get his heads around the concept of ladders.
In the grounds of Brooklyn.
Whoop.
Joker was right. I found someone.
Another one just dropped like a fly.
Okay.
Run, wake up.
All right, now we have to get those two apart somehow.
Got a plan? We can find him, or we're next to him.
Well, you could throw a batarang at one of them, and the other one would probably chase you. Oh, no, never mind. They'll separate themselves. The strategy that's worked for them this whole time, they just give up on. We're the last ones left. We were hanging out this whole time. We should split up. Well, I'd get the guy down there. He's coming. Ah, well. Oh. That's not so good. Dadgummit!
Why is this happening? It's really irksome.
Well,
is that going to reset?
Almost certainly. Connection to Xbox. So is it it's some kind of internet problem?
Yeah, it's the internet.
But why does it? We don't need internet for this. You freaking piece of Microsoft trash. I'm on Linux, by the way. I haven't really officially made the full switch, but I've got it installed. And it's all because of stuff like this, Microsoft.
Did it seriously?
Of course it did. It's not going to return you to the middle of that mission. Why would it have that level of decency?
Okay, well,
Let's talk about that.
probably the coolest run
Let's
ever.
talk about Linux and how much better it is than Windows.
I actually have joined a group recently about making Linux bits because
Making Linux out with marzipan. Sorry. Make it. What is that's?
making out with Linux.
Oh!
Are you joking me?
It
Okay.
isn't.
I need to figure out what's happening.
It's internet, almost certainly.
Well, it is, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, it
given
does
that
actually.
I have-
It makes perfect sense though if it's having.
3:00, so it's
Well, no,
possible it's doing some weird.
I don't think the internet has that problem. I'm almost certain it'll be that's just a connectivity issue, and so if you turned the internet off on this and we just logged in and we just said, yeah, screw Xbox Live, I bet you it would. The problem is I think it's trying to connect to Xbox Live and it isn't being able to. Hell yeah, well.
And then you're gonna have to cover my
Well,
needs.
I don't think we need to try to finish this now. We're literally at the end.
Well, if it keeps doing it.
Well, it's only done it this one time. If it happens again, I guess we'll call it quits. But we got, what do we got, 3 minutes? I don't want to take over your fail pile.
Wow.
We're talking about Linux.
I had a success pile until.
Well, then there you go. Go back. It's your success pile. I don't want to sully it. That's my bet, is it's trying to connect Xbox Live and it's not being able to. And so it's saying, like, of course it would, because this makes perfect sense. It's just going, oh, we can't connect to Xbox Live? Well, how about we disconnect your current game? Sorry, but we're just so concerned about your Xbox Live.
We can't connect.
Can't
to the
sign you in.
mothership.
Do we need to sign you in to play this freaking game that we bought? Do I need to log in to play with this game what I own? This is why people switch to Linux, Microsoft. See what happens if you just deactivate, because you can log into your account without an internet connection, right? Unless maybe you can't. I don't own an Xbox One. Maybe that's the kind of thing you can't do. Saying, what? Play games without the watchful eye of the state upon you? Wouldn't you feel unsafe? Best play games while Big Brother sits next to you. Suck my shorts, Microsoft. Come August, I have August. I have to get Linux fully up and running until they pull the plug on Windows 10. So that's my deadline. For any of you who really want to fall asleep right now, I'll tell you that I'm using Debian 12, and here's why. As opposed to the millions of other available Linux variants. That's the one thing about Linux
I'm
is that
saying,
it's...
what caused you to go with that particular?
Well, funnily enough, it was memes.
Well, okay.
And I think anyone who knows much about Linux will say that memes are a perfectly viable way of choosing your distribution. Because the thing is, I've been seeing Linux stuff for a long time, ever since I've been interested in it, because of the death notice that Windows 10 sent me.
When I also joined a ton of Linux, I just think it's funny that you and I tend to get the same.
No, because I said you were there when Windows gave me the death sentence and said, "Hey, Windows 10's dying next year." And that was when I decided I'm switching to Linux then, because I'm not going to Windows 11 and all of its spyware. So I've been watching stuff since then, but recently it was like basically what your Linux distribution says about you. And I appreciate this because the one that broke it down, it was sort of, again, stereotyped but not totally inaccurate, where it was like Debian is for the boring people who just want something that works and don't care about fancy tech. And I was like, that's me. I'm not doing this because I'm a computer science nerd. I'm not any of that kind of stuff. I literally just want something that's not going to interrupt me. And then now I was not aware when I was doing all this research that Debian 12 recently released, like I think a year or two ago now. But even without that, I was going to go to Debian anyways. Because the other thing is, Debian's one of the original distributions. In fact, a lot of other famous, like I have been under the impression almost the whole time I was researching Linux that Ubuntu was like the original, because that's the one everyone talks about. But Ubuntu is literally just...
That's the one I'm familiar with.
Ubuntu is just a fork of Debian.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, well, okay. That sounds good for me. So is the other one I was looking into is Linux Mint. But again, that's also just a fork of Debian. And that was the other joke, was also about that. It's like, this is just for boring people. And I was like, I'm content to be a boring person. I'm not interested in my technology being interesting. I just want my technology to work for me. So that was what made me do it. The fact that I happened to be getting into it right when Debian just had a major update, I'm like, well, okay, that means I'll be set for a while. Because the nice thing about Debian is they're not going to release another one until probably 2050. So I get to I get to get on board now and ride this one wave for however long it takes. But yes, that's me. I don't really know much about how to make things work properly yet. It's surprisingly...
Take it out! Are you kidding me? It wouldn't do the silent one.
Well, it doesn't do that unless the prompt comes up. You can't just force it to happen. You got to sneak up.
No, don't do multiple people. Just you.
We'll get him.
Just you
We'll get him now. He literally came around that corner right as that guy fell over. Ah, guy! Run, run, run. Don't take him on. Just run. What's happening?
What kind
Oh!
of is this? That's just absurd.
Batman got hung up on a piece of brickwork.
This is what happens when it can't connect with the mothership.
It's so stupid. I'm sick and tired of it, man. You remember the Nintendo days when they gave you a piece of plastic, and that piece of plastic could work even after nuclear fallout? Just stick the piece of plastic into the other piece of plastic and it'll play a game.
Nintendo also used to actually sell the things that people used in order to basically not, this sounds terrible, but the whole idea of early piracy was something that Nintendo actually kind of was just turned a blind eye to and went, we don't really care that much. Like cart dumps were actually like something that Nintendo sold. They were like, yeah, sure, put them on your computer. That's fine.
Well, no, they sold the things to let you do it, but then again, no one hardly bought those things. The cartridge to floppy disk thing exists. But
I know.
But I can't imagine they were that lucrative. And obviously, it's a little bit like torrenting where you can't outlaw the practice because the practice isn't illegal. You can only limit how people use it. But of course, that's almost completely unenforceable. It's like torrenting in and of itself is just a method of sharing files. It's the same thing's going to happen. Hello, fellas. Shoot your friend and not me. I'd like to point out that's what would happen. That is what would happen. They'd have shot their friend a bunch and not me. But then again, the game apparently doesn't have that level of realism. It's so hot. I've reached my maximum. I've been stewing in it and I've reached the end.
He's now in ugly hotness or whatever you call this.
I'm an ugly hot mess. Anyway, yes, Linux. You know what have just occurred to me? I didn't check that there was screen tearing at the beginning of this. So if there has been screen tearing, it's been happening the whole time. I haven't even been looking at the monitor once, and there is screen tearing. Let's fix it now that we're 4 minutes from the end. This will just annoy all of you people. Yes, I'm sure about that. Yep. There we are. That should fix it. I hope for the next 4 minutes you'll all be happy. He was fondling you while you did that. He was getting off. He's one of those guys. So yeah, Linux still confuses me. It was easy enough to install, but that doesn't mean I understand it yet. I still find the sort of package systems and how to install other things and whatnot. The thing that I did do, interestingly, okay, right behind you! Right behind you!
That's why I'm running into the sea of gas.
I mean, you could have just gone and got him, though. Well, I guess you could just do the long way around. The thing that's interesting is that I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, you
What was that?
Sook. I totally snuck up behind him and pushed Y, and it just said
Okay,
no.
yeah, you pushed Y 5 feet from him.
No, I was closer than that.
You were
Yes.
not. You just did a little fist bump. Get out of there! Aragon! Okay, you brought that on yourself.
No, that was some hot trash.
My fallen enemy.
All right.
So yeah,
This will be the last run.
okay, that's fine with me. I'm in need of a shower. I'm already dripping. What was I going to say though? Linux, Debian, not understanding it fully. Oh, I did an inventory of like what I actually use my computer for and what I'll need to install to make it function. And because I already have been a proponent of open source software, just about all the stuff I use on my computer has native Linux versions. So all I'll have to do is just reinstall the Linux versions on the new hard drive, and I'll be able to do everything I was able to do. The only exceptions are some minor things like, I forget what they are offhand. I like how I have to smack his butt before I choke him. I know you could argue that's not what I'm doing, but the sound that it makes very much implies otherwise.
Intensive treatment.
I don't think this seems to be the thing that kills us every time.
Go west and check out the walkway. While you're there, keep going.
I'm gonna get this guy. All right, we're already 2 down. We're doing this right this time. 5
I was
hostiles.
doing beautifully before Microsoft gave me.
Well, yeah, that was a good run, but Microsoft gave it to you sharp. No.
No Vaseline or nothing.
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good.
Pull that man's pants down clean about his ankles.
Oh dear. Now a storm's going to come and ruin the audio right at the end. 4 hostiles. Alrighty. I'm going to save him till the end because I still think I'm going to have to use my batarang trick. No, in fact, it's in a horrible first aid kind of way. I took that guy out in the kind of date he'll never forget. Okay. Oh, that was the first one. Y'all are behind.
He's going to be telling his therapist about this for months.
Y'all got to go ogle the corpse. He ain't a corpse, but he will be.
Ogle that corpse.
It'll make you smile. Okay. I need you to split up, fellas. Okay, those 2 are going off together. This guy's going off on his own.
Up towards you.
Well, that was unexpected, but he's too stupid to have done anything. Okay. We're doing all right. You 2 should really separate. You're not gonna, though. Psh, they're just discovering all the previous bodies. Wait until it's you. Well, what have you done with Linux? Which groups are these?
So all of the, obviously the Raspberry Pi build that I did with RetroArch is Linux based. And then
That's one of the software that I can do.
what? RetroArch?
RetroArch's one of them.
It's for an actual computer it's not useful, but for
What are you talking about? It's how we run Chrono Trigger.
yes, but for the sole purpose of gaming, it makes sense. But if you're trying to actually run like a full operating system off of it, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the Raspberry Pi.
Yes.
Yes. I thought you were talking about RetroArch. I'm like, it works just as fine on the computer.
No, exactly.
Yes,
But-
Raspberry Pi will not run a computer, certainly.
I mean, it could. I've seen people do it. It's
yeah,
not-
but they've got like 12 of them.
yeah, there's a guy who
that's
stacked
what-
like a ton of them, and it's anyway. I also way long time ago, and I can't remember which version we used. We actually built the youth computer with Linux for one of our main sources, and basically it was doing was running some sort of presentation software. I can't remember what, but it was Linux based. It was called Open Show or something like that, and then we needed obviously the internet and like I think
I could
Spotify,
play
but
this
Pandora at the time.
dangerously and try to
Would
tag
be
one right
very
after the other.
dangerous.
Because if I can do it silently, the other guy won't turn around, but that doesn't mean he won't just turn around randomly. It seems they're sticking together, though.
I gave you everything. That's bomb, freedom. And this is how you
I'm taking my chances.
deserve whatever he does to you.
Run. Whew. That actually put me out of breath. Okay. Oh, come on now. Okay. We're doing all right. Where are you going next, pal? This ends today, one way or another.
Hey, fellas. Did you know that if left long enough, those plants mutate and give off poisonous spores that would prolong exposure, shut down the nervous system? No?
Okay, he's going down.
There was something about
He's given me my opportunity. No. Oh, crap. Well, he's the last one. What are you doing, Batman? Batman! Batman!
Get off the flippin' ladder.
Well, now I don't have to use my batarang technique. Well, actually, what am I doing? What am I doing? Wait, why can't, okay, you're not going to let me glide click him from here? Whatever, he's the last one. I don't care how terrified he is.
that man hunting you down and you're the last one standing. Well, I got news for you. You're right.
Okay, this actually was probably not a great idea because now, well, okay, he's. Batman! Are you seriously telling me he didn't see me? Well, okay. I didn't think that
Throw
seemed.
the batarang up there.
Well, I mean, okay, I guess we can just because. Woo! Ah! Flight controls are reversed! What kind of animal uses that? Get away from me. I got flies. Okay, yeah, that didn't go so well. What kind of animal uses inverted axis flight controls? Or maybe it's not inverted. Maybe that was the issue. And either way, whatever it was, I didn't like it. Whew, okay, that was right. Good timing on my part. We are so close. Okay. Don't go right back up. Don't go. Don't. Whew. Will the game save now, right before Windows logs us out again?
It's not going to because now it's offline.
So it does work when it's offline. I'm confident that was what was causing it. Is that it was like connected to the internet but not stable. And for some reason, it's just panicked about the prospect of us not being logged in properly. Well, I thought something would happen once I took all these guys out, but I guess no. No, Batman. What? Oh, there is something here. What is the deal? Let me know if you see some kind of saving icon, because oh, that was nice and easy. What? Oh, I forgot these ones have multiple. It didn't change. I was just holding it that one the whole time. Yay. Will it save? It still isn't saving. When can we save to make sure that I'm not going to lose all this?
Probably when you go through the doors.
Well, who knows what happens when I go through these doors.
Yep.
Saving! Yay, that means we can be done. By golly, it's hot. Sheesh.
Well, hopefully enjoyed the screen tearing today,
Yep,
folks.
that was all for you. We did that on purpose. Oh, I'm coughing. Whoa!
Okay.
Well, that was just in the nick of time. I don't think this is Scarecrow. Oh, it was Scarecrow.
Okay.
So Scarecrow's gone meta. He makes Batman see glitching in OBS. This is actually, I'm a little bit intrigued. What? So am I just suddenly having this hallucination now? I walked in, smelt the gas.
He don't
What the?
freaking scary now, does he, Mr. J?
What? What the crap?
Are you playing as the Joker?
Yes. Now, the thing is, I've seen people doing this in this game. I have always assumed it was some kind of New Game Plus thing. I didn't realize this took place as part of the main mission.
Don't listen to me! It's a mistake! I didn't do it!
Well, this was supposed to be the end, but I'm almost tempted to continue. I guess
You
this,
can do it some.
we could leave it as, well, no, not if we're not going to do a whole nother one. We'll leave it as a tantalizing surprise. I didn't realize this was part of the main quest. I always assumed this was like an unlockable thing you could do.
I think that's what you need to call this episode, Tantalizing Surprise.
Tantalizing surprise, and this is the thumbnail right here. All right, well, we'll see you next time unless Microsoft nukes us from orbit because of our naysaying.
In the meantime,
In fact,
we will have our
I
own,
hear it now.
we will have our own Linux ham radio to be able
In
to
the
reach
future,
out.
you'll have to play the game and we'll just talk to you.
Hey, buddy.
That's like a perfect, that sounds like something that would happen in a Fallout game. It's not a Let's Player, it's just a you player. I'll talk on the radio.
Let's talk. You play.
And we'll pretend like I'm talking to you, even though you're just doing whatever you're doing. That would be funny. Okay,
Bye now.
I need a shower.